Howdy there, YouTubers. I'm going to be doing a review here on the Africa Twin Adventure Sport 2018 30th anniversary model. I've had it for a little over a year now. Haven't ridden it too extensively, about 4,000 miles because of the pandemic, but I have had a good enough experience on-road and off-road. So in this video, we'll be doing a little bit more of the off-road stuff. I will be taking what I affectionately refer to as my 600-pound girlfriend to Saddleback Mountain, officially known as Santiago Peak, and at just under 5,700 feet, it is the tallest peak in Orange County, California. Mode. Some of the settings could be a little misleading. For instance, gravel mode, it's really the only preset off-road mode, and it's not quite the best, especially when you're going up steep inclines and gravel, because the traction control is set to high on it, and as soon as your wheels start spinning, which you need that to happen when you're off-road, it'll just start to bog down and you will conk out, which is what happened to me. So you need to put the user setting in, and what I've found works pretty well is having the engine power on its strongest, having the braking power on its strongest, basically just cutting off the traction control, or sometimes I put it on 1, and having the ABS turned off, and then hitting the G button. That seems to give me the best traction going uphill and gravel. So I basically just use that pretty much most of the time going off-road. Now I did find that going downhill, when it's pretty steep and rocky, the gravel mode itself works really, really good. Do some research on the settings, and you'll be much more comfortable turning off the ABS and the traction control off-road. It's just really not needed. Oh, how beautiful is that? So the paved road stops at some point, and then it just turns into a dirt road, and it gradually gets steeper and more gravelly, and depending what section you're in, it can be rutted out. Apparently they do maintain the road at certain times, and it is subject to close, and it's not too difficult. There are certain sections that are a little steep and a little rocky, but if you have it in the right mode, you take your time, it's really not too much of a problem. It's also a pretty good workout, I gotta say, going up these mountains and going over the gravel and rocks and up the steeps and down. It's just fantastic workout for your body. There are times that I'm done going up and down these mountains and my legs is quite a burn. Yeah, that's another benefit, staying in shape. And adventure riding is a lot like skiing, where there's really no age barrier or fitness barrier. There's pretty much something for everybody. Yeah, the bikes are big, and that they're capable, and they're so well designed. Especially this Honda Africa Twin is very forgiving. It's so capable, but yet forgiving for newbies. So I always like to say, or just reiterate what I've been told, is that you ride to your ability. So if you're looking at a lot of the reviews, a lot of times for these motorcycles, you're watching motorcycle journalists that have been around and been riding off-road and on-road for sometimes 3-4 decades. You watch guys like Chris Birch, who's a great off-road rider, and you listen to Jimmy Lewis and some of these guys, and they're great input to these motorcycles and what they can do, but they're coming from a really experienced level. And a lot of times they mention that, and they say, ride to your ability. That's the best way to stay safe. But it's sometimes good to hear an opinion for somebody who is brand new and has had maybe a year or so on the bike and can tell you what their impressions are. So hopefully that's what I can impart. when I first got the bike, you know, my first impressions was, wow, it is big, and I wanted that. I wanted that street touring capability. I wanted the extra gas. I love the Honda Africa Twin. I love the DCT. I did a lot of research on the DCT before pulling the trigger on it, and everything that I read, it hit all the buttons that I thought I wanted for you know, for a motorcycle. And it's not like I can't ride manual with a gear shifter and all that. This does have it. It has a paddle shifter. You just shift with your hand rather than your foot if you want to put it in manual. But the DCT, it's amazing. One of the things I read about off-road riding, and a lot of times the guys complain about, is, you know, stalling. There are certain, you know, off-road classes that, you know, there are sections of the class that are solely dedicated to feathering the clutch. And conversely, man, the DCT just seems so simple. It really lets you to really enjoy the ride, enjoy the bike, rather than having to worry about stalling or being in a difficult situation. And the one thing that really sold me on it was these journalists who've been riding forever and absolutely loved it and said, man, you know, don't knock it until you've tried it. It really is the future. Jimmy Lewis was one of those. Johnny Campbell, you know, as well. He just said it's, in some cases, it's better than manual, and, you know, he's an 11-time Baja winner. So DCT stands for dual clutch transmission, and I'll read you some of the stuff. This is right off the Honda website. For paddle shifting, you can choose manual mode, and you can override the automatic shifting on the fly with a pair of handlebar-mounted fingertip shifters. Seamless power delivery and no power interruptions mean you avoid momentary traction losses between shifts. Because DCT is built with steel gears inside, there are no drive belts to slip, break, or burn up. There's no torque converter either. They're as tough and efficient as any manual gearbox. Since DCT has manual type gearbox internals, you get genuine compression braking and control. DCT means no hunting for neutral or reaching for a shifter when you're standing on the pegs. And that to me is one of the best things about DCT. When you're standing up, riding through technical sections, you don't have to worry about shifting gears, you don't have to worry about holding in the clutch or letting it out. You don't have to worry about, will the gear shifter break off-road? Many times that happens. You're free to stand firm on the pegs, hold onto the bars. It's very seamless, intuitive technology. I should also mention these stock tires on the Africa Twin, the Dunlops, which are basically a street tire. They're 90-10. They've been surprisingly well. They've taken a beating, and I've never had a flat, and they've performed quite well, I have to admit. I was worried at first, but they're great tires. The new ones are the Motaz Tractionator Adventure tires, which are a 50-50 tire. So in this video, the Dunlops are still on, but I have recently, since this video, changed them, which I'll put out a video. I did it myself. And it was quite the job for the first time. It's quite an experience, so I'll show you the video on that. I have not ridden on the NOVICE yet, just a little bit around here, but so I'll give you a review on that. But yeah, I like them. They're great. They're supposedly just as capable on-road and much more capable off-road. It starts to get pretty gravelly, and then, you know, you get higher up, and last time the bike was spinning out and didn't have any power. So with these new settings, it seems to be doing quite better. Yeah, so this is the section I was talking about earlier. When I came here for the first time, I'd never been off-road before, and if you look to the sides, all the rocks are, you know, have been cleared for this trip, but the last time they were completely all over the road. And I had the ABS on, I had the traction control on, and halfway up it, the bike just literally stalled and conked out, and I dropped it, and I had no idea what was going on, you know. But now I know, and the settings are correct, and the bike will go anywhere. Woo! Awesome! We're heading closer to the peak. And of course, the higher you get, the steeper the drop. And my friend had mentioned that they had just maintained the road. It's basically a 4x4 road. No cars are allowed up here. One thing I've noticed as a beginner, occasionally when you're in gravel and you've got a little bit of speed up, sometimes you can hit a larger rock. It often does kick the bike right out from under you, so you just got to be a little careful about your speed. Quite a fun ride and great experience on the Africa Twin to go off-road. My friend Mark took me on this. I probably wouldn't have tackled this on my own. It looks a little intimidating at first with the gravel and some of the steep sections. On camera it never looks steep, you know, it's kind of like skiing. You know, you can videotape skiing and it doesn't look like anything. That also applies to the gravel. It doesn't really look like much in the video, but it takes quite getting used to. But it's a great place, you know, to practice and learn, get comfortable off-road, and to really understand how capable these adventure bikes are. They're big and burly. It's kind of like sometimes you feel like you're in a big Cadillac. The suspension's a little soft on this thing, but it goes over anything. I mean, you go over these massive rocks and gravel, and you shake a little bit, but for the most part, it goes over it, no problems. And the more you ride off-road, the more you get comfortable with it. And that's the great thing about it, just getting more and more comfortable with the bike. I plan to take it onto the California BDR next. So I look forward to talking with Ron West, who is instrumental in getting the California BDRs up and running. My partner, Cece, is a journalist, and she has arranged a fireside chat with Ron, so I really look forward to that. Yeah, I just can't say enough about these motorcycles. You know, it's a 550-pound touring bike that is essentially a dirt bike. Sometimes the rocks will throw you this way and that way. Yeah, this ride is a nice little adventure. The words of Mark Twain have inspired me since I was a little kid. And actually, this year marks my 25th year in the Screen Actors Guild. I've been super blessed to have been able to eke out a life as an actor and enjoy times like this. You can see we're getting to the top of the mountain. You'll see the communication towers. They basically sit on top of Santiago Peak.
That's awesome. That was fun, man.
One thing I've noticed is that the windshield looks extremely wide. That's only because of the wide-angle camera right up against the windshield. So here we just hydrate, have a little snack, take in the sights, and then we head down. And I'll give you a few minutes, some highlights on the way down, and my final thoughts so far on the Africa Twin Adventure Sport. Alright, let's head back down. Gotta get home and feed the chickens.
You got to the bottom of this, we turn right instead of left.
Okay. Beautiful Saddleback Mountain.
Until we meet again.
This is so awesome. So you see that, like, it's thrown around a little bit in the sand, but the speed, I guess, seems to be your friend. I'm not, like I said, really done much off-roading at all, but the bike seems to correct itself as long as you don't panic, I guess. I don't know. So here's sand. Zip through it. Holy mackerel. Can't see anything. Whoa. That was fun. Oh man, I love this stuff.
Yeah, so the descent was somewhere between 15 and 20 miles from the top of the peak, and I found that gravel mode seems to be the best for going down. Seems to have the best engine braking and throttle response. That seems to be safe. But other than that, the Honda Africa Twin is an amazing machine. I'm very happy with my purchase. The only thing I sometimes think about is the weight of this thing. It is pretty heavy, and I do like going a lot off-road, and I don't have that much experience. But then again, you know, the highway capabilities of this thing, packing it up with all your camping gear, and being able to ride on the highway for, you know, all day and still be comfortable and not have that rattly feeling from a smaller bike, you know, it's a give and take proposition. So until I try one of those, I really can't make a judgment on that. But I'm extremely happy with this. I think if you're looking at one of these, don't be afraid to pull the trigger. It's a fantastic machine, and this year is fantastic. You can get some amazing deals on this year as opposed to the brand new ones. You can save almost 10 grand, I've seen. So yeah, great bike. Get out there, enjoy it. Peace out.
That was the famed Saddleback Mountain, Santiago Peak. It's one of the beauties of, you know, the Africa Twin is that you could do exactly what I just did, and then now you got to go home and you take the highway, and you know, it's a extremely capable machine on the road. Man, I hate all these trucks. Holy crap, Easton. Me no likey. Me no likey.